Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Monday. It is the 24th of June, which is Ashadha Masa or Vamana Masa and Krishna Paksham, Tadiyatiti. So there are no Vaishnava events in the calendar. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma is speaking to Narada Muni about the creation of the universe from the Karnodaksai Vishnu. So all the elements of Mahatattva and mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And from the mode of ignorance, this sound comes, and then from the sound, the sky, and then so gradually all other elements, the sense objectives, and also the Panchabhutas, they are likewise, he is gradually explaining. तामसादपि भूतादेः विकुर्वाणात् अभून्नभः तस्य मात्र गुणशब्दो लिङ्गं यदृष्टदृष्टयोः नभसो अथ विकुर्वाणात् अभूत् स्पर्श गुणो अनिलः परान्वयात् शब्दवांश प्राणवोजः सहोबलम् वायोरपि विकुर्वाणात् कालकर्म स्वभावतः उदपद्यत तेजो वै रूपवत् स्पर्श शब्दवत् तेजसस्तु विकुर्वाणात् आसीत् अम्भो रसात्मकं रूपवत् स्पर्श अवच्छम्भो घोषवत् परान्वयात् विशेषस्तु विकुर्वाणात् अम्बसो गन्धवान् अभूत् परान्वयात् रसस्पर्श शब्दरूप गुणान् अन्वितः. So likewise, Brahma gradually explaining how the elements have developed their in due course of time by the Lord's external potency. They have developed, and finally the earth has come. The earth has got the qualities of the smell, taste, and the rupa, that is the form, and the sense of touch and the sense of sound. So it contains all the previous elements. Any elements which is manifested at the end, it contains all the previous elements. Likewise, Brahma has explained in the last session. So today he is saying from the mode of goodness, the mind has generated. From the mode of goodness, the mind has generated. And also the demigods are also created. Who are the rulers of the different directions. And the names of those like Vayu, Indra, Varuna, Agni, and likewise Mitra. He's saying all the elements are, all the demigods are mind, and all the demigods are created from the mode of goodness. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, chapter 5, verse number 30. वैकारिकान् मनोजज्ञे देवा वैकारिका दशां दिग्वात अर्क प्रचेतो अश्वे वह्नि इंद्र उपेन्द्र मित्रकाः. वैकारिकात् मनोजज्ञे, from the mode of goodness, मनोजज्ञे, the mind has manifested, mind has generated. वैकारिकात् मनोजज्ञे Deva Vaikarika Dasha, and also from the mode of goodness, Devas or demigods, Dasha, there are 10 demigods they have got created from the mode of goodness. Vaikarikad manojajne deva vaikarika dasha. And who are those 10 demigods? The dasha is the 10 dig. Dig is the directions, 10 directions. Dasha dig. They are Vata, Arka, Pracheta, Ashvi, Vatni, Indra, Bhupendra, Mitra, Kha. These are the 10 demigods. So Vata is the the controller of the air. It is the wind god. Next one is the Arka, is the sun god. Number 3 is the Pracheta, or Varuna. His name is Varuna. Pracheta is Varuna. And number 4, Ashvi. This is the Ashwini Devatas. Number 5, Vatni. It is the Agni, the fire god. And the number 6, Indra. Number 7, Upendra. Number 7, Mitra. And number 9 is the Kha, is the Prajapati. So I got 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then Dig. So he's the controller of the directions. It looks so. Dasha Dig, 10 controller of the directions, and it has given all the names. Dig, Vata, Arka, Pracheta, Ashvi, Vatni, Indra, Upendra, Mitra, Kaha. That is Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. Vaikarikad manojajne deva vaikarika dasha digvat arka prachetu ashvi vasni indra upendra mitrakaha. So translation for this verse. From the mode of goodness, the mind is generated and becomes manifest, as also the 10 demigods controlling the bodily movements. Such demigods are known as the controller of direction, the controller of air, the sun god, the father of Daksha, Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the fire god, the king of heaven, the worshipable deity in the heaven. That is, he is called Upendra, and the chief of the Adityas, and Brahmaji, the Prajapati, all come into existence. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any unallocated devotees? It's 2 big paragraphs. One devotee first paragraph, and another devotee second paragraph. Any devotees is fine.
Okay, Prabhu. May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Vaikarik is the natural stage of creation, and Tejas is the initiative of creation, while Tamas is the full display of material creation under the spell of the darkness of ignorance. Manufacture of the necessities of life in factories and workshops, excessively prominent in the age of Kali, or in the age of the machine, is the summit stage of the quality of darkness. Such manufacturing enterprises by human society are in the mode of darkness because factually there is no necessity for the commodities manufactured. Human society primarily requires food for subsistence, shelter for sleeping, defense for protection, and commodities for satisfaction of the senses. The senses are the practical signs of life, as will be explained in the next verse. Human civilization is meant for purifying the senses, and objects of sense satisfactions should be supplied as much as absolutely required, but not for aggravating artificial sensory needs. Food, shelter, defense, and sense gratifications are all needs in material existence. Otherwise, in his pure, uncontaminated state of original life, the living entities has no such needs. The needs are therefore artificial, and in the pure state of life, there are no such needs. As such, increasing the artificial needs as as is the standard of material civilization, or advancing the economic development of human society, is a sort of engagement in darkness without knowledge. By such engagement, human energy is spoiled. Because human energy is primarily meant for purifying the sense of, in order to engage them in satisfying the sense of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord being the supreme processor of spiritual senses, is the master of the senses. Rishikesha, senses, and Isha means the master. The Lord is not the servant of the senses, or in other words, he is not directed by the dictation of the senses, but the conditioned souls of the individual living entities dictation of the senses, and therefore material civilization is a kind of engagement in sense gratification.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, we are getting some disconnection and
Agent for satisfying the spiritual senses of the Lord. The senses are never to be stopped in their engagements, but one should
Hare Krishna,
purify
Mataji.
them. Sorry, Prabhu.
So I think there was a disconnection. Could you please continue from here?
Okay, sorry, Prabhu. Individual living entities are servant of the senses. They are conducted. Is that right, Prabhu? I'm writing.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Okay, of the senses. They are conducted by the direction or dictation of the senses, and therefore material civilization is a kind of engagement in sense gratification only. The standard of human civilization should be to cure the disease of sense gratification, and one can do this simply by becoming an agent for satisfying the spiritual senses of the Lord. The senses are never to be stopped in their engagements, but one should purify them by engaging them in the pure service of sense gratification of the master of the senses. This is the instruction of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna wanted first of all to satisfy his own senses by his decision not to fight with Krishna, with his kinsmen and friends. But Lord Sri Krishna taught him the Bhagavad Gita just to purify Arjuna's decision for sense gratification. Therefore, Arjuna agreed to satisfy the senses of the Lord, and thus he fought the battle of Kurukshetra as the Lord desired.
Yes.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request the devotee to read next paragraph, please?
Yeah. The Vedas instruct us to get out of the existence of darkness and go forward onto the path of light. Tamasi ma jyotirgamame. The path of light is therefore to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Misguided men or less intelligent men follow the path of self-realization without any attempt to satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord, but following the path shown by Arjuna and other devotees of the Lord. On the contrary, they are artificially try to stop the activities of the senses, yoga system, or they deny the transcendental senses of the Lord, jnana system. The devotees, however, are above the yogis and the jnanis because pure devotees do not deny the senses of the Lord. They want to satisfy the senses of the Lord only because of the darkness of ignorance. Do the yogis and jnanis deny the senses of the Lord and thus artificially try to control the activities of the diseased senses? In the diseased condition of the senses, there is too much engagement of the sense in increasing material needs. When one comes to see the advantage of aggravating the sense activities, one is called jnani. And when one tries to stop the activities of the senses by the practice of yogic principles, he is called a yogi. But when one is fully aware of the transcendental senses of the Lord and tries to satisfy his senses, one is called a devotee of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord do not try to deny the senses of the Lord, nor do they artificially stop the actions of the senses, but they do voluntarily engage the purified senses in the service of the master of the senses, as was done by Arjuna, thereby easily attaining the perfection of satisfying the Lord, the ultimate goal of all.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so here in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the necessities of life. It is a long paragraph, so it's very long. But to summarize the activities, Prabhupada is saying all these are not necessary. Only growing the required food, what is needed, food, shelter, defense, and sense gratification are all needs in material existence. So we need to take only as much as needed, not too much of accumulations of all the things that now existing. Annat bhavanti bhutani pajjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati pajjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. So whenever we perform our activities as a to meant for yajna, that is to please Vishnu, then and for that we rains come, and from the rains the food comes, and from the food all other living entities success. That is the way of living, not by building the factories and the horrible kind of industries. So that is Prabhupada is saying. So in this age of Kali, everything is in the mission, age of mission, and it is in the darkness. One has to come out from that situation as much as possible. If he is a helpless condition, then star nisitagata tanuvan mano. So that is wherever they are situated, just execute the Krishna consciousness. That is other instruction. If it is very difficult to come out from that position. Okay, so that is Prabhupada's instructions here, and there are much to discuss, but it is very long paragraphs due to the time. And then here Arjuna was also was taught by Krishna all about Bhagavad Gita, and then Govinda Smaranti Haradkirtam Govinda Abhihitanimi. So as soon as one hears and remembers the Krishna's instructions, immediately his senses will be purified. And then he'll become the master of his senses. But actual original master is Krishna. Okay, that is from there. And then here devotee, what is the difference between yogis and the jnanis and the devotees? Devotees wanted to satisfy Krishna's senses, and whereas yogis and the jnanis, so jnanis, they wanted to purify of their senses. So that's why they go for gymnastics and all those things. Likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here. Okay, that is about these paragraphs and their purpose. There is much, but just summarizing in. So here Brahma is saying that from the mode of goodness, Vaikarika Manojajna, the mind has generated, and from also the 10 demigods who are the different rulers of the directions. Vaikarika Manojajna Deva Vaikarika Dasha Digvata Arka Pracheta Ashvi Vatni Indra Upendra Mitrakaha. The 10 demigods. They're all created from the mode of goodness. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Tamala Krishna, March 4th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Gauringi Mataji to read this letter, please?
Yes, Prabhu. My dear Tamala, please accept my blessing. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 1 March 1970. I am glad that you have gone to Germany along with Hansadutta and his wife, and I am so pleased to learn that things are being arranged nicely, and that is my satisfaction. Marriage or no marriage, that is not our problem. If we find it suitable that by marrying, one will be able to serve better than by not marrying, then one must marry. That is our principle. So, as you are thinking that accepting duty uh, Mary as your wife, you will be happy, and your duties in Krishna consciousness will be uh, eh, in enhanced. Then I have got all sensation, and you do it. I know that all my spiritual children are doing very nicely as Grihastha, and similarly, I hope you shall be doing better after your marriage. Um, uh, uh, orgi- Organization of the European Centers and the World uh, Sankirtana Party later on for these two reasons I called you in London. Now Mukunda Hangsaduta yourself Krishna Das Umapati uh, Janardana Suridas, etc. All of you are tested devotees. Now do everything nicely in full cooperation. Always remain engaged in Krishna service. Then there will be no misunderstanding. See that the French and German BTGs are nicely done. That is my ambition. Jaya Govinda must marry the girl Sadanandini. It is already advanced, and I do not think it can be changed now. So he can immediately call her from now. You by sending her passage money to Hamburg. Then get them married immediately in your presence. On the 1st of April, we are going to our new church property, which is being processed at the cost of um, 225 dollar payable in 12 years and 50,000 down payment. Please keep me informed about your progressive march in Krishna consciousness. While you are in Germany, please see that Vasudeva is given all facilities for this painting work. He is a very good painter and very enthusiastic. You make arrangement that he can devote full um, time of his painting and many may not feel any inconvenience in his work. He can begin immediately to paint picture on the many different subjects. As you know, I will write to him separately. In the meantime, do the needful. Hope you will meet you in good health. Your ever will wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
Yeah, here Prabhupada mentioned about Grihastha who married and unmarried. Then they are all Krishna conscious. He mentioned about many devotees. They are all doing well. Mm. Then other one is painting. Uh, this is Prabhuji. They are all Krishna consciousness. They're doing well, Prabhuji. They order to do that. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That is my side, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely explained. So, Grihastha life, if it is better than the Brahmachari, that is the best thing. And also, Prabhupada instructing Tamala Krishna that facilities for painting work to be arranged. So he is a good painter. Vasudeva is a good painter. So just giving all facilities so that he can progress and also help our society. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this matter? Okay, so that is Prabhupada's instructions to his disciples. The whatever the way it is best for progressing in Krishna consciousness and to spread and to serve, then do it. Either it is a brahmachari or a grihastha. That is the main takeaway point. And also suggesting Prabhupada that disciples to marry and the whom to marry as well. Jai Gondago must marry a girl, Sadanandini. So once it is come in contact with a girl, so it will only progress. That attachment will only progress. It will never decrease. If there are any temporary things out there, that's why brahmacharis are suggested that never come in contact with any woman. It is strictly prohibited for a brahmachari and also vanaprastha sannyasi. So if it is progressing and if it is advanced, then it is better to get married. So that is from the Prabhupada's letter and also my takeaway. And from the announcements point of view, so tomorrow evening, our teaching practice session with Bhaktini Mampi Saha Mataji at 8 p.m. That is our upcoming event. I don't have any further special updates, dear devotees. If devotees from temple or if there are any updates you wanted to share, any events that are going on, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्दकी श्रीलप्रभुपादिकी हरे कृष्ण परमहंस जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री